One of the feminists said at one point that the only way to deal with transgender women was to morally mandate their kind out of existence. I took great umbrage to that, but I've come around to thinking something myself in all of this. I'm like, you know what? You basically said something. I gotta copy the way that you put that to talk about this fucking issue. Now I have become something of a feminist, and it's for strategic purposes. There's the Martin Niemöller quote. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And this happened in Germany. They basically spoke out. They said that one group of people was the problem with American society, and that they and their rights and they were miscreants that were invading, their countries and dragging it down into hell, and everything that they basically said about it. And now we have just Pearly Things basically saying that she thinks that women shouldn't vote, and that some men, and that the right to vote ought to be tied to serving in the military, which is exactly the ideology that I have come here to argue should be morally, and the people who think it should be morally mandated out of existence. I I believe at a very deep level that our U.S. government should basically take the right of free speech away, make a tally of all the people who think this way, and then put them in death camps and kill all of them until there are none of them left. One policy towards that way of thinking, annihilationism. I'm not sorry about it either. I don't care. I call for a great cleansing of this country. This way of thinking is an impurity that is a threat to our way of life, and it should be eliminated with extreme prejudice. The people who think it are not human. They are scum. They should be eliminated. And I say this because, because this group of people is just like the Nazis. They're going to keep taking people's rights away. They're not going to stop either. They're going to strike more and more people until, like I said, I mean, it's not hard to take, you know, women shouldn't have the right to vote. They just have that right. They don't have equal responsibilities to men who have to serve in the military. Then it becomes, well, some men don't serve in the military. Why should they be able to vote? It's that it just keeps spiraling. And on all of this because of the fucking issue of the draft. And it's like, bitch. Anyways, I'm already too old to fucking go. They're not gonna fucking put me, a 37-year-old, on the fucking field in combat. Like fucking wake up. Anyways, the whole thing was just going to keep spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. And so I basically had to come out and say, you know what, you don't get to take women's right to vote away. The 19th Amendment is a good amendment. It should remain in place. You know what shouldn't is the first, so that people who think like you are turned into the criminals you should be. And then our government can do what should be done to you, which is kill you. The death penalty for as a way of punishment for fucking thinking this way. I'm sick of it. I think, since the government has a legal monopoly at force, it should use its force to basically purge itself of this mode of thinking. So I think women should have the right to vote. I think that men who are on Social Security and on the dole should have every bit as much of a right to vote as people in the military. I do not believe on any level that responsibility should be any part of rights. I think that people shouldn't have to earn shit and should have to have, and that our society should be bound to fucking giving people rights no matter what they do. And I say this because the only fucking reasonable point of view is to think that. Because if it wasn't that way, when are we going to stop at all striking anybody who isn't a fucking military man from the fucking voter rolls? So, this kind of shit happened in Nazi Germany. It was, you take away their rights, and then you take away their property, and eventually you take away their persons and put them in prisons, and then those prisons become death camps, and it becomes annihilation. You know, I'm fucking done with this shit, this Nazi fucking crap. And I know if I don't speak out, where are the women who are gonna fucking defend me when these fucking freaks of nature basically come for somebody like me and my rights? Why would they if I didn't defend theirs? You know, so here I am, basically saying women should have the right to vote. Fuck pearly things. And that living in your own country is enough skin in the game to have that right. You know, the more feminist cat lady spinster is going over it, the more I'm realizing that this woman is basically everything that I want to destroy. I do. I don't think or agree with any of these people, and furthermore, my disagreement with them is so passionate that I think that their way of thinking should just be, you know, purged from existence. I don't think these people who think that way have any right to exist. I think that our government should engage in a policy of elimination towards its own citizens that think this way and initiate a grand purge of our nation and our national gene pool of this mode of thinking entirely, because it's this mode of thinking of let's eliminate somebody else's right to vote, you know, is a fucking impurity on the gene pool and on a body politic of opinion in the nation, and that America should evoke the right to fucking cleanse its gene pool of any kind of fucking ideology like this garbage that these people are peddling. How about this? No one's rights should be taken away. They should be set in stone, and fucking no negotiation should be tolerated at all. There should be no discussion of it. It should be final and irreversible. And it should be set in something so hard that no other fucking substance can damage it at all. It's completely indestructible. There should, there, you know, this is the problem with democracy. It's like if you know, half the population wants to eat the other half becomes something more than food. And these people, they want to eliminate people's right to vote, and you know, it look how quickly it spiraled, you know, into men who don't serve in the military shouldn't be able to vote. And she basically put it out there. That's what she said. That's what she said. She thinks because of the draft, only military people should be able to vote. And I'm like, not this time, you fucking Nazi freak of fucking nature. The only people who should be able to vote are the people who disagree with your way of thinking.